name is Jonathan Santana, and this is my persuasive speech, The Dangers of Stereotype and Generalization. Imagine walking into a room where people have already decided who you are, what you're like, how smart you are, and even how trustworthy you are, without even knowing your name, your story, or your character. That's the power of stereotypes. They feel small, like casual assumptions, but they create real barriers that shape opportunities, relationships, and even safety. Today I wanted to persuade you that stereotyping and generalization are dangerous, not just unfair, they harm individuals, divide communities, and weaken society as a whole. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that stereotypes often lead to something called stereotype threat. When people underperform because they're worried about confirming a stereotype about their group. For example, women in math or minorities in academics often face lower performance when reminded of stereotypes. That's not because of ability, it's because of the toxic weight of some people's assumptions. Think about job interviews. A resume study from Harvard found that applicants with ethnic sounding names received 50% fewer callbacks than identical resumes with traditional white sounding names. The Pew Research Center reports that 60% of Americans say stereotypes fuel racial and social tensions when people rely on generalization instead of genuine understanding of real laws instead of prejudice. Think of how harmful stereotypes about immigrants, for example, will paint entire groups with a broad brush, lazy, criminal, or undereducated, despite data showing that immigrant populations are more likely to start small businesses than native-born citizens. These stereotypes don't just hurt individuals. They damage trust and community quite easily. Now, some people argue, well, stereotypes exist for a reason. They're based on truth, but that's misleading. Yes, stereotypes might be aimed for observations, but they blow isolated traits and unfair generalizations. Saying all teenagers are irresponsible ignores the millions of teens excelling in academics, sports, and leadership. Stereotypes simplify the world in a lazy way, but they don't reflect reality. In fact, we more rely on stereotypes, the more we blind ourselves to people's real unique qualities. When entire groups are boxed in by assumptions, society loses potential. The U.S. Department of Labor has documented how bias-driven discrimination in the workplace leads to billions and lost productivity every year. We cannot afford to waste human potential because we're too busy clinging on to stereotypes. In conclusion, if we can move past stereotypes, we can build classrooms, workplaces, and communities where people are valued for their individuality, not trapped in a box someone else has built for them.